turn heads and cheer loud, you'll look extra snazzy in your brand new Giants jersey. Dash over to the Giant Sweat Shop on the main concourse and load up on all the goodies. T-shirts, noisemakers, cozy sweaters, and much more fantastic merch. Then, after the game, don't miss your chance to meet the stars. Stop with the team or sign autographs. Suit up, show off, and celebrate in true Giant style.
Hey kids, you want to be part of the coolest crew in the ballpark? Join the Junior Giants every Sunday only. Meet the team, bounce your card over the bouncy castles, and take on awesome event games made just for you. Want to know when the next Junior Giants Day is? Check out our social media or visit FortMcMurrayGiants.ca. Fun, friends, and high fives await. Legacy Dodge Field at Showplace is home to the Fort McMurray Giants and the best baseball food in town. Select concessions are now open on the main concourse. Stop by and grab some tasty treats.
Dodge Field at Showplace. Welcome to another Western Canadian Baseball League showdown featuring your hometown Fort McMurray Giants.
Pay attention for foul balls. If you or someone you know gets hit, please alert a member of the Great Plains security team. If block tosses a ball your way, bring it to the Giants swag shop for a special treat from the team.
The Giants strive to create a positive family fun atmosphere. If someone's throwing shade or going on a colorful language spree, wave down a member of the Great Plains security team.
Smoking, vaping, or sparking up anything cannabis related is a no-go inside Legacy Dodge Field and Showplace. Keep it to the designated zones outside of the venue.
Get ready to rip the Giants like a champ. Slide into the swag shop on the main concourse for hats, jerseys, hoodies, and all the gear your fan heart desires. Suit up now and show your Giants pride.
Feeling lucky, Giants fans? 50-50 tickets are on sale now, and today's jackpot is growing with every pitch. One lucky winner will walk away with half the pot. Could it be you? Don't miss your chance to strike it rich at Legacy Dodge Field. Grab your tickets from sellers in the stands or at the 50-50 booth on the concourse. Now here's the away team's starting lineup.
Starting from the Lethbridge Bulls, playing left field, hitting first, number 1, Bruce Sakaris. Hitting second, playing right field, number 10, Lee Makazuki. At first base in the third spot, 23, Carter Blairhout. And hitting cleanup will be your designated hitter, number 26, Jack Kaliski. Hitting fifth, playing second base, number 8, Steven Andriachuk. And in the sixth spot is number 15, their third baseman, Will Turner. Hitting seventh is tonight's Brewski's beer batter, number 17, Drew Buffer. If Drew doesn't make it to first base, draft beer goes on sale, 2 for $10 until the first pitch of the next Giants at bat. Your Brewski's beer batter tonight, number 17, Drew Buffer. Hitting eighth, playing shortstop for the Bulls, number 9, Luke Wheatley, and the ninth spot, center fielder, number 7, Jalen O'Ryan. Pitching for the Lethbridge Bulls tonight, number 14, that is Seamus Ryan. The Fort McMurray Giants acknowledge that this game is being played on Treaty 8 territory, the ancestral home of the Green today, and the unceded territory of the Métis. As long as the sun shines, the rivers flow, and the grass grows, we will honor these lands. Thank you for joining us for tonight's exciting matchup between the Giants and the Bulls, and we are proud to welcome a very special group to the ballpark tonight, our friends from Suncor Energy for their employee summer event. Welcome to the ballpark. To officially get things started, please join me in welcoming Dean Wilcox, Suncor's Senior Vice President of Base Plant Operations, to the field.
All right, thanks, Jerry, and I really want to thank Dutch, not only for the outfit I'm wearing, but for hosting us here tonight in the Giants. Really appreciate that. It's great to come out to a community event where our employees, their families, can enjoy a night at the baseball stadium. Hopefully some popcorn, Cracker Jacks, and enjoy the game. Supporting the community is a big part of what Suncor does, and being here tonight is a great way to give back and recognize the Giants, Kidsport, and the community overall. So I really want to thank all the employees for coming. We sold over 900 tickets tonight. I think really a great opportunity for everybody to get together. Our first ever night of the ball game, and I'm sure it won't be our last. We're really proud to be here and do that. So, a couple things for everybody to know. As part of tonight's event, I really want to share that tonight everybody will get a Suncor gift on their way out of the stadium. For those adults in attendance, they will receive a commemorative glass mug, and the kids will take home a branded baseball, and that's for everybody in the ballpark tonight. It's really our way of saying thank you for being part of tonight's celebration, for recognizing the importance of Suncor in the community,
Suncorp will be again tonight. And now, fans, please turn your attention to the field. Taking the mound for tonight's ceremonial first pitch, the under-12 winner of the Suncorp three-game party fastest pitch contest. Please welcome Caleb Adams. And with our second pitcher up there, there we go. And now your umpires for today's game as assigned by the Western Canadian Baseball League. For more information, visit westerncanadianbaseballleague.ca. Behind home plate tonight, the veteran Don Buskus. At first base is Mike Richards. And down the third base line is Connor Waugh. At this time, we ask the coaches to home plate for our pre-game meeting. It's time for your Cloverdale game starting lineup. Hitting first, your designated hitter from Dakota State University, number 9, Darcy Berry. Playing center field, hitting second from the University of Fraser Valley, number 28, Elijah Olewa. At second base, hitting third from Embry-Riddle University, number 25, Miles Murphy. From the University of Toronto, playing first base, hitting cleanup, number 17, Carter Harkin. Your catcher tonight, from the Okanagan University, in the fifth spot, number 3, Nick Sauvé. Playing right field from Division I Niagara University, hitting 6, number 19, Camden Sanders. In the left field, in the 7th spot from Dakota State University, number 26, Connor Ray. Your third baseman hitting from Sheridan College, number 46, Lucas Marshall. Your shortstop is in the 9th spot, just graduating from Father Patrick Mercury High School, number 22, Ethan Pittman. And let's make some noise for your starting pitcher from the University of Calgary Dinos and Fort McMurray's own, number 7, Riley Burns. It's at this time that we would ask that you rise if you are able and remove your caps as we join local entertainer and educator Dan Tull for the singing of our national anthem. Oh, Canada.
Well, the rain has come through Fort McMurray, but it has not dampened the spirits of the over 1,000 in attendance tonight. It is the Fort McMurray Giants against the Lethbridge Bulls. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Matthew Decker, and this should be a very entertaining game. Last night was a pitching duel. Levi Abbott of the Bulls got the best of the Giants through 7 innings, only allowing 1 hit, 10 strikeouts. The Bulls blanked Fort McMurray 3-0. But what can you do for an encore? It's hard to back up that kind of a performance. And the Giants still looking for their first win here at Legacy Dodge Field. Let's take a look at the lineup for the Lethbridge Bulls this evening. They'll start off with Bernie Sakaris, Lee Matsuzaki, Carter Clarehout, Jack Kaliski, Steven Andrzejczyk, Will Turner, Drew Bufford, Luke Wheatley, as well as Jalen Ryan. The Fort McMurray Giants, they are turning to hometown kid Riley Burns to get things started on the mound. This will be his 4th game of the season, 3rd start. Riley's had a bit of issues going deep into games so far this year. The most innings he's pitched in one outing was to the last game that he played on June 8th against Regina, going 3 innings in that game, giving up 6 hits while also putting out 4 strikeouts. The Lethbridge Bulls right now sitting first place in the West Division with an 8-4 record, half a game up on the Okotoks Dogs, who have an 8-5 record. Right in behind them, the Sylvan Lake Gulls with a 7-6 record. This is an important game for both these two teams as Bernie Sakaris steps up to the plate for Lethbridge against Riley Burns. First pitch fouled off into right field, but just out of the reach of Carter Herkin. Sakaris, a returning player to the Bulls this year, got into 13 games in WCBL action last year. 18 hits and 42 at-bats, as well as 2 home runs. His batting average of .429, which is sparkling. He'll take a ball, and the count is now 1-1. Hobbs, New Mexico is Bernie Sakaris against Fort McMurray's Riley Burns. Another ball fouled over top of the grandstand by Sakaris, and he finds himself down 2-1 in the count. Only a couple of changes to the lineup for the Giants this evening. Connor Rainey draws in to left field. Not just the only change from the Giants this evening, 2 changes from the Bulls. Sakaris is one of them. Andrzejczyk is the other. You see Andrzejczyk in the 5th spot later on in this game. Off-speed pitch, little high for Marcus Erlandson, the home plate umpire, and it's a full count between Riley Burns and Bernie Sakaris. 3-2 pitch. Swung on and missed by Sakaris. And Riley Burns starts things off with a strikeout here at Legacy Dodge Field. Lee Matsuzaki will step up now for the Bulls. He went 2 for 5 yesterday, including a triple to his name. Very dangerous if he's able to get onto the bases simply because of his speed. And we'll see, can Riley Burns feed off of the energy of a lead-off strikeout? First pitch floats in for a strike. It's a good crowd in Legacy Dodge Field today. Suncor Family Day taking place, and getting hit by the pitch was Lee Matsuzaki. He'll take first base. Well, it's a tough way to go, but Matsuzaki will be the first runner for Lethbridge. That brings up Carter Clarehout from Red Deer, Alberta. Matsuzaki's going for a steal. It's a ball throw in, in time. Unable to get the tag was Ethan Pittman, and it's a stolen base for Lee Matsuzaki. Talked about how dangerous his speed can be, and he showed it there. Nick Sove, who's got a terrific arm from the catching position, just fell a little short. And now a grounder right to the first baseman, Herkin, easy out, but Matsuzaki will advance to third base. And Jack Kaliski will step up to the plate for the Bulls. The designated hitter went 1 for 4 last night. But he did count as one of the 3 runs for the Bulls. Looking to keep this inning going and to bring Matsuzaki home. Riley Burns about to take on what has been one of the better players in the WCBL in recent seasons. The 0-1 pitch outside for a ball. Brings our count to 1-1. Kaliski from San Antonio, Texas. We'll hear a little bit more about Texas as this week goes on. Ball in the dirt, ball number 2. Riley Burns playing for the University of Calgary. And his 3rd season with the Giants this year. He gets set for the 2-1 pitch. In the strike zone. Strike number 2. The count is 2-2 with 2 outs in the top of the first. Matsuzaki remains on third base looking for an opening. Jack Kaliski against Riley Burns. A ground ball, but it goes foul. Matsuzaki was ready to make a break for it. Lucas Marcello was also ready to pounce on that ground ball. But it'll go back to a battle between arm and bat. Riley Burns with the 2-2 pitch. That one's high and outside. It's going to be a full count between Burns and Kaliski. The Bulls coming into this series, top 4 in hits, home runs, and runs. It's a team built with offense in mind. Trying to get the offense going early, and Kaliski will take another ball for a walk. That will put runners on the corners as Steven Andrechik will step up to bat for the Bulls. Andrechik from Kalispell, Montana, a freshman at Midland College in Texas. Several players on this Bulls team who plays with Midland College in Western Texas, an oil and gas hub. It's also the home at one point to both the Bush presidents in the United States. Just outside for ball number 1. Riley Burns trying to stay aggressive on the mound. The 0-1 pitch slapped into the outfield. A label, though, he's got a tracker on it, and that will do it for the top of the first inning. No score between these two teams. We will take a break.
That's what I like to hear. All right, like I said, I'm out by concessions. One of the extra special things with the Giants concession is those classic ballpark dogs. So I've got a challenge for you. First person to come either wearing a baseball glove or a piece of Giants merchandise is walking away with a ballpark hot dog. So let's see. Come on. I'm looking around. Might see a couple kids running. There we go. There we go. We got the high five with the awesome big Giants hat. Awesome job. Congratulations. Now I need all of you guys here at Legacy Dodge Field to get loud for our Fort McMurray Giants.
Getting set for the bottom of the first inning. No score between Lethbridge and Fort McMurray. Quick look at Fort McMurray's lineup for tonight. Darcy Berry leads things off, followed by Elijah Olable, Miles Murphy, Carter Herkin, Nick Sauve, Camden Sanders, Connor Rainey, Lucas Marcello, as well as Ethan Pittman. And they will face on the mound Seamus Ryan from Calgary, Alberta, plays out of the Vauxhall Academy in Eastern Alberta, a commit to North Dakota State, where he will play Division I ball next year. North Dakota State, the Bison, known more for their football than their baseball, but they're capable of a couple of upsets, and it's going to be a lead-off hit for Darcy Berry out to left field. An excellent start in this game for Fort McMurray, as Berry, who went 1 for 4 last night, finds himself on the bases early in this game. Elijah Olable will follow things up for the Giants. He went 1 for 4 last night, struck out twice, but he's been one of the more consistent performers here at Legacy Dodge Field for the Giants. For Seamus Ryan, this will be his 3rd game of the season, his 2nd start. Last time out was June 6th against Energy City, a 9-5 win where he earned the decision in that game. 5 innings pitched, 3 hits against, 8 strikeouts. He's an up-and-coming prospect. There's a reason he is a commit to an NCAA Division I school. Tried to catch Darcy Berry, but it's a failed pickoff attempt. As we get set for the 1-1 pitch between Seamus Ryan and Elijah Olable. Into the strike zone for strike number 2. And Olable finds himself in behind the count. Runner on first, nobody out. Olable against Ryan. That one, breaking ball outside. That will make it a 2-2 count. Olable from Langley, BC, playing out of the University of Fraser Valley. Knocks this one hard, but just foul. That was a frozen rope towards left field, but just on the wrong side of the baseline. Count remains 2-2. Olable, despite going 1-4 yesterday, Wednesday had a 3-3 game, including 3 walks. Berry trying to steal second base, and he just makes it. Slid in head first. It is a strikeout against Elijah Olable. But Darcy Berry advances himself into scoring position. Up next will be Miles Murphy, who went 0 for 2 last night, but he did make it on base twice due to throwing errors by third baseman Will Turner. Takes a strike early on, so he'll try to move Darcy Berry to third base. A 1 pitch into the dirt, knocked down expertly though by Buffert. He ensures it doesn't get in behind him and gives up a free base to Berry. This one fouled back by Miles Murphy. Slowly starting to become a consistent threat for the Giants, either in the 2 or the 3 spot. Went 2 for 4 on Wednesday against Energy City, 1 for 3 the night before. He fouls up another one, and that one landed right in front of Oil Barons head coach Sam Clausen and his family in attendance in the suites. Looks like no harm, no foul. Trainer Peter Spears dove out of the way of that one as well, as it missed him by about a foot. 1-2 pitch popped up in foul territory once again, but Buffett will not be able to make a play. This one bounced hard off of the seats, and now there's going to be a stampede for a loose ball by a bunch of the kids in attendance. Again, it was Suncor Family Day, and about 900 of them in attendance. I would guess probably over 1,200 people here at Legacy Dodge Field. The 1-2 pitch from Ryan. Did he get it? No, says Marcus Erlinson. It is a ball. And that brings the count to 2-2. Murphy trying to work the count against Seamus Ryan. Fastball smacked to the outfield. And the second baseman, Andrzejczyk, waves everybody off to make the catch. That will be the second out of the inning for the Bulls. Carter Herkin will step up to bat for Fort McMurray, the Calgary, Alberta product. 0 for 3 last night. Struck out those 3 times. Also made it on base due to a walk. Takes a strike on the first pitch from Ryan. Falls down in the count early. Trying to give Fort McMurray a bit more of a spark here. They started off the right way with a leadoff single by Darcy Berry. Trying to bring him home, and this is smacked to the shortstop. Scooped up by Wheatley. He'll get over to Clarehout in time, and that will do it for the first inning. 4 batters through the ranks for Fort McMurray, and we remain scoreless in this game.
Now hitting for the Lethbridge Bulls, number 15, Will Turner.
At Legacy Dodge Field, top of the second inning, no score between Lethbridge and Fort McMurray. Will Turner will lead the Bulls out as he goes head-to-head with Burns, and he smacks this one out to center field. A base hit for Will Turner on the first pitch he faces. And that one will get a little bit of a jump from the Bulls dugout. Drew Bufford will step on out for Lethbridge. Went 0 for 4 last night, struck out twice. Hoping to advance Will Turner around the bases as he goes head-to-head with Riley Burns. Failed pickoff from Burns, keeping Will Turner honest. Turner is one of those players not afraid to take his chances and trying to steal a base. He's got a huge leadoff right now. Plays out of the Prairie Baseball Academy in Lethbridge. With a .350 batting average with the academy. He's also part of the CCBC championships that were held in Lethbridge this year. Couple of games where he went 3 for 8 in his at-bats, hoping to advance to second base as Drew Buffert, the catcher, is up. Away went Turner trying to steal the base, but that ball is fouled back and he's forced to retreat to first. Brings the count to 1-2. Nobody out in the top of the second. Both teams with 1 hit on the night. Pickoff attempt as Burns trying to keep Turner close to first, especially after seeing him with the massive lead off his last 2 pitches. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Smacked high towards the outfield. Olabel's got a beeline on it. He'll snag it and hold Turner at first base. That will be the first out of the inning for Fort McMurray. And it will bring Luke Wheatley to the plate for the first time tonight. Had a game at bat last night to forget. 0 for 4, struck out each and every single time. But if you look at his numbers, both in the WCBL and collegiately, he is a dangerous man at the plate. You half expect that his game last night is a one-off. Calgary, Alberta product has an on-base percentage of .531, and a .385 batting average, so he knows how to get himself onto the bases. And you get set for this 1-1 pitch from Riley Burns. Off-speed pitch, just a touch high for second ball. Notice this go around, Will Turner not as aggressive with his leadoff at first base. Burns, a left-handed pitcher, able to keep a good eye on him. The 2-1 pitch, grounded to shortstop Pittman, turns it to the second baseman, and a double play for the Giants. They will get themselves out of this inning through 3 batters, and it remains scoreless at Legacy Dodge Field.
Giants fans, it's time for human ring toss. We're going to have ketchup taking on mustard, and we're going to be seeing who is first to get 2 hula hoops. So we'll get ketchup and mustard on this side, and we'll get the 2, I don't know what to call you guys, podiums maybe? On this side, and we're going to count them off and see who can get 2 on first. 3, 2, 1, let's see it. There's 1. And Mustard takes it. 2-0. That's another point for Mustard on the board. Now let's make some noise for our Giants.
Nick Sauvé steps up to the plate for the Fort McMurray Giants, the Calgary, Alberta product, trying to get a spark going for Fort McMurray. Went 0 for 4 last night. The batting might not quite be there for Sauvé in the early stages of the season, but his defensive play has been stellar. Takes a ball on his first pitch from Seamus Ryan. 1 strikeout in the first, gave up a hit. Had a little bit of help defensively as well as Sauvé swung on and missed to bring the count to 1-1. Sauvé takes a ball. It was well over top of his head, and that brings the count to 2-1. Nick Sauvé, part of the CCBC champion Okanagan College, slaps this to outfield, and it will drop just in front of Jalen Ryan. It's a base hit for Nick Sauvé, and just like the first inning, the Giants will get a leadoff single to start the second. Niagara University's Camden Sanders will now step up to the plate. Went 0 for 3 last night, struck out twice. Fouls off the first pitch he sees. We'll keep our eye as well on Sauvé. How aggressive does he want to be on the bases? He's got 4 stolen bases to his name with Okanagan College. It's a ball thrown to Sanders, and the count is now 1-1. Fundamental baseball is what we hear time and time again by manager Ray Brown. Sauvé able to make Ryan to step off and try to reset. The 1-1 pitch. That one's low, and it's ball number 2. And Sanders is up in the count against Ryan. Camden Sanders played sparingly with Niagara University. Only got into 5 games this past season, did the London, Ontario product as a freshman. It's now in a 2-2 count. Fouled off by Sanders, keeps him alive in this at-bat. Seamus Ryan trying to get his second strikeout of the game against the London, Ontario product. The 2-2 pitch. Just outside, and that will make it a full count against Camden Sanders. That didn't miss by much. And we continue on in this battle of arm and bat. Runner on first, no outs. Attempted pickoff that failed from Seamus Ryan, keeping Sauvé honest at first base. Sun just starting to peek through here at Legacy Dodge Field, where it rained steadily throughout the majority of the day. And Seamus Ryan will walk Camden Sanders. Fort McMurray with runners on first and second, nobody out. Connor Rainey, who is the lone change to the lineup for the Giants this evening, will step up to bat. It was a pinch runner on Wednesday against Energy City. Last played Tuesday, where he went 0 for 3 and struck out twice. And looking to advance both runners into scoring positions. The first pitch from Ryan, bunted down by Rainey. There's a blitz for it, charging in a throw, he's safe. Connor Rainey beats out the throw, and the bases are loaded with nobody out. A terrific run by Connor Rainey, beating out the throw from Seamus Ryan. And the Giants with a prime opportunity ahead of them, looking to draw first blood against Lethbridge. Lucas Marcello, a ground ball. It goes to Clarehout. Can't muscle it over, and he's safe. Clarehout got caught trying to decide where he was going to throw the ball. Hesitated going home. Ryan was not in position at first. And a run comes home for Fort McMurray. They take a 1-0 lead, and still nobody out with bases loaded. Ethan Pittman steps up to bat for the Giants. The local product in his second straight game for his hometown team. This place would erupt if he's able to bring a couple of runs home. The Giants doing something we did not see from them last night. Score a run, take a lead. And a strike against Ethan Pittman drops him to 1-2 in the count. Seamus Ryan trying to settle things down for Lethbridge. The 1-2 pitch. Smacked on by Pittman. That goes over top of the grandstand. Foul. And the count remains 1-2. He had that one labeled, but was just a little late getting to the fastball. Gets set for another 1-2 pitch. Fouled off once again into the netting. Pittman trying to put a little more miles on the tread against Seamus Ryan. Still no outs, bases loaded. Fort McMurray leads this game 1-0. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on, another foul ball. And a couple of clapping hands from the Giants dugout as Pittman continues on. Just graduated from Father McMurray High School. He'll ground this one. Glove down by Ryan. He goes home. And it'll just be the one out for the Bulls. I believe that is chalked up as a fielder's choice. Lethbridge, though, still in a jam with bases loaded. Darcy Berry steps back up to the plate. A single to open up this game back in the first. And he smacks this. It's going deep. It's back towards the wall at the warning track and dropped by the right fielder. This will be at least a base hit for Berry. One comes home. A second one. Marcello safe. And the Giants take a 3-0 lead. That one was smacked by Darcy Berry. First pitch he sees, he launched it. Right fielder Matt Suzaki could not get there in time. It looked like he had it near the warning track, but it just fell outside of his glove. And the Giants able to bring two home, one out, runners on first and second. And Elijah Olable looking to keep the momentum going for Fort McMurray. Struck out in the first inning. Looking to get the better of Seamus Ryan. First pitch swinging, but that goes foul. You can see the aggressiveness from the Fort McMurray batters in the second inning. They can smell blood in the water. The 0-1 pitch. Fouled off once again by Elijah Olable. He's now down in the count 0-2. Here is the 0-2 pitch from Seamus Ryan. Smacked by Olable, but that will go foul to the football field at SMS Equipment Stadium. And the count remains 0-2. Fort McMurray leads this game 3-0 in the second inning. 5 hits already to their credit. That's more than what they were able to muster last night. Olable smacks this to left field, but tracking it down is Sakaris. And he ensures that Pittman cannot advance as well. It's the second out by the Bulls. And this will bring Miles Murphy up to bat. Flew out to second baseman Andrachik in the first inning. Pittman on second, Barry on first. Pop foul by Miles Murphy. And it's like feeding day at the aquarium as all the school kids go chasing after another foul ball that lands near Bob Campbell Field, just to the north side of Legacy Dodge Field. That one is a ball to Miles Murphy. The count is now 1-1. Fans are engaged. They've been treated so far in the second inning. Fouled off once again by Miles Murphy. That goes over top of the grandstand. And the count is now 1-2. Fort McMurray staying aggressive with the bats. 1-2 pitch, swung on and missed by Murphy, and Ryan will get himself out of this inning. But the Giants with some damage, 3 runs on the board, and they lead it 3-0. Top of the third inning, Fort McMurray leads this game 3-0. Riley Burns stays in on the mound for the Giants. So they wrapped up the top of the second with a double play before an offensive outburst in the bottom of the inning, scoring all 3 of their runs. It will be Burns, though, against Jalen Ryan, who was very consistent last night. He went 4 for 4 at the bat, including a double. Takes a ball to start things off here in the third. Jalen Ryan might be a batter in the 9 spot, but he has a .353 batting average with Eastern Arizona University. Heard that quite a bit, that the Lethbridge Bulls are built with offense in mind. It doesn't matter what lead their opponent has. That lead is never safe as long as the Bulls have a chance to go up at bat. They're built offense first. They can out-hit anybody, outscore anybody. And as the Giants know from earlier this week, a 3-0 lead is not safe for them. They want to keep the pedal down. A 1-2 pitch, it's in there, striking out Jalen Ryan. That will be the second strikeout of the game by Riley Burns as we head back to the top of the order with Bernie Sakaris. Ryan did not exactly agree with that decision. And this one grounded to the second baseman. It goes through the legs of Miles Murphy. That will be an error against Murphy as the ball slipped right through his legs. That was Bill Buckner-like. You can almost put up a replay of that one and what happened to Murphy, and they'd be pretty much identical. How will the Giants bounce back from that error as Matt Suzaki steps up to the plate? Was hit by a pitch his last at-bat. Takes the ball on the first offering from Riley Burns. The 1-0 pitch swung on and missed by Matt Suzaki. The Bulls looking to get themselves back in this game. 1-1 pitch from Riley Burns. Smacked by Matt Suzaki. Murphy comes across. He can't quite get to the ball in time. And that will be a base hit by Lee Matsuzaki. Lethbridge with runners on first and second. And 1 out. Carter Clarehout will step up to bat for the Bulls. Excellent hitter in his own right. Used to play with the Prairie Baseball Academy before joining Southern Arkansas University. Takes the ball from the first pitch by Riley Burns. His younger brother, Spencer Clarehout, a defenseman with the Whitecourt Wolverines in the Alberta Junior Hockey League. So sport's a big thing with that family. I believe their father has a position with the Nanaimo Clippers in the BCHL. The 1-0 pitch from Riley Burns. Smacked by Clarehout to the outfield. A label comes over, as does Sanders. Sanders with the grab. He'll throw it to the cutoff man in Ethan Pittman. That will be the second out of the inning for the Giants. And runners on the corners for Lethbridge. 2 away. Riley Burns trying to keep his 3-0 lead intact. Steven Andrechik steps up to the plate, the Kalispell, Montana product. Beautiful city if you've never been there, just outside of Glacier National Park in northwestern Montana. It is a city that is a little dear to my heart with a lot of family in that area. Another pickoff attempt as Matt Suzaki gets back in time. Andrechik from Midland College, 56 games during his career, 154 at-bats. He'll take a strike. And just found the inside of the plate. And you have a batting average, though, of a .351 and on-base percentage of .502. Makes you a very dangerous hitter. Burns has his next pitch fouled off by Andrechik. And that pulls the count to 0-2. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. Giants lead it 3-0 in the top of the third. The 0-2 pitch. Runner to second. It is a ball. And now both runners for the Bulls are in scoring positions. The 1-2 pitch. That one's popped up into right field. Sanders is hustling. He'll get over in time. And Fort McMurray will remain up 3-0 after the top of the third.
I've got some gifts for you guys. I've got t-shirts signed by myself and Stopper. We've got 3 for a lucky 3 Giants fans. We've got 1 on this side. We've got 1 on this side. And we've got 1 on this side. You could pop that. I don't know if you should keep it now because you didn't catch it, but I'll be nice. I feel nice that I'll let you keep it. All right, now come on. You can cheer louder for t-shirts. So I think you can cheer louder than that for the Giants. So let's hear it. Let's go, Giants!
Bottom of the third inning here at Legacy Dodge Field. Fort McMurray leads Lethbridge 3-0. Carter Herkin will step up to bat for the Giants. Grounded out to the third baseman in the first inning. Seamus Ryan stays in the game, trying to shake off what was a rough outing in the second. Ryan, an up-and-coming prospect, a star in his own right, committed to play at North Dakota State University, home of the Bison, a team that's playing out of the Summit League. They won the Summit League championship with a couple of upsets along the way. And despite the fact that North Dakota State was well below 500 with a 21-34 record, but some big scalps that they took down, including Kansas and Creighton. Right now, though, Seamus Ryan down 3-1 in the count. His pitch past his catcher, and that will walk Carter Herkin. That is 3 straight innings where the Giants' leadoff man gets on base. They were able to take advantage of it in the second. Can they do it once again in the third as Nick Sauvé steps up to bat? A single in the second to start the run. Comes out swinging, and it's a foul tip for strike number 1. Sauvé 1 of 3 to come home in the second from Calgary, Alberta. Off-speed pitch finds the inside of the strike zone for strike number 2. And Sauvé's going to need to dig deep to battle back in this third inning. Herkin on first, no outs. Giants up 3-0. Swinging and missing is Nick Sauvé. That is strikeout number 3 for Seamus Ryan. And now Camden Sanders will step up to the plate. He was walked back in the second. A swing from Sanders, missing that off-speed pitch delivered by Ryan. These two teams slated to play each other another 2 times before the end of the week. The evening game tomorrow, and then on Father's Day, a 2 o'clock start. After that, the Giants will hit the road. Okotoks, Lethbridge, and Brooks, 3 difficult opponents, as Herkin kind of stumbled getting back to first place and just managed to reach out in time. He got caught. That would have been a little bit of a red-in-the-face moment. The 1-1 pitch from Ryan. Gets inside for strike number 2. And he's up on the count against Camden Sanders. Herkin, 3 stolen bases in his collegiate career. Trying to throw off the timing of Ryan by showing him maybe a little more of a leadoff and then jumping back. The count's now 2-2 against Sanders. And that one is low for ball number 3. So a full count between Seamus Ryan and Camden Sanders. Runner on first, 1 out. This one is smacked to the outfield. It is shallow. Coming across to get it will be Jalen Ryan. And that will be the second out of the inning for Lethbridge. This will bring Connor Rainey to the plate. His bunt was very key in getting Fort McMurray the runs in the second. Put it down in a perfect location, outran it as well. That loaded the bases with nobody out. And he's looking for another massive at-bat here in the third. 1-0 pitch, low for ball 2. Connor Rainey from Pflugerville, Texas, a junior at Dakota State University. Dangerous runner when he gets on the bases as well, as he's got 13 stolen bases to his name. Has a batting average of .289 at Dakota State. He finds himself in a 2-1 count. The pitch finds the inside of the plate for strike number 2. Give Seamus Ryan a lot of credit. He's been battling back in this third inning. The 2-2 pitch inside for strike number 3. And that will do it for the third. Fort McMurray, though, still leads the contest 3-0.
Grand Slam sponsor, Alberta Safeway, Mackay ATV, Fort McMurray 468 First Nations Economic Development, Newplay, Alexander Tula, and MN
Top of the fourth inning, Fort McMurray leads this game 3-0. Jack Kalitsky will, Steven Andrzejczyk will step up to the plate for Lethbridge. 0 for 1 so far in this game. Flew out to the outfield, but this time he'll smack it into left center field. Holabel is there. A collision between Andrzejczyk and umpire Don Buskis, but Andrzejczyk gets into second base. All right. Looks like Don Buskis is a little worse for wear. 2 thumbs up from him. No harm, no foul on the play, and a leadoff double for Lethbridge in this fourth inning. Stepping up, Will Turner, a single in the second. Gets ready for a pitch from Burns. That one's high, and jumping up to make the grab was Nick Sauve. The Giants are going to send somebody to the bullpen to start warming up. It's going to be Winston Roberts in the pen for Fort McMurray. Lethbridge also has a man warming up as Turner fouls this one back to make the count 1-1. Riley Burns battling, trying to keep everything alive. Still a chuckle between Don Buskis and Steven Andrzejczyk from their collision. Pitch from Burns just outside, and it's ball number 2. Not 100% sure, but it might be Aiden Newton warming up for Lethbridge. Swung on and missed by Will Turner, and that brings the count to 2-2. Runner on second, nobody out. Giants lead the game 3-0. They've got 5 hits to Lethbridge's 3. The 2-2 pitch, smacked to the shortstop, scooped up by Pittman. He'll throw it in time to first. And a very smart move by Pittman as well. Kept his eye on Andrechik and ensured that he did not advance to third base. That will bring on Drew Buffert, who flew out to center fielder Elijah Olabel in the second. Riley Burns having one of arguably his best outings of the early stages of this WCBL season. The 1-0 pitch from Burns. Smacked. It is floating into foul territory. Coming across, making the grab is Rainey. He dove for it, and he snagged it. A tremendous play by Connor Rainey. The runner will advance to third. But a great individual effort by the man from Texas for the second out of the fourth for the Giants. Luke Wheatley rather, steps up to the plate. Ball into the dirt just in behind of Wheatley, and Johnny on the spot was Sauvé to ensure that Andrechik can't come home. 1-0 count, Riley Burns playing for his hometown Giants team. Swung on and missed by Wheatley. The count is now 1-1. Proceedings in both teams' bullpens continue to increase. 1-1 pitch. That one is low. Ball number 2. Burns was in a similar situation back in the first inning. Runner on third, walked, and then had 2 men on the corners. Managed to get himself out of that jam. Forces Wheatley to foul another one off. That brings the count to 2-2. Cheers pick up here at Legacy Dodge Field. The 2-2 pitch. Did that drop enough? Not quite, according to Marcus Erlinson. And that brings us to a full count in the fourth. Runner on third, 2 outs. Luke Wheatley against Riley Burns. Giants leading by 3. The pitch, smacked just past the hand of Burns. Murphy has it, tosses it, and he gets him. Herking keeps his foot on the bag to get the Giants out of the 4th inning, maintaining their 3-0 lead.
Some future baseball players out here. Oh, who's getting there? Who's getting there? That's it. What's the jump? All right. Tell me your name, buddy. Mason, let's get loud for Giants! Giants, from FloCollege, number 46, Lucas Marcello.
And Seamus Ryan's night is done. Finishes with a line of 5 hits, 3 runs against on 65 pitches, and that will bring in Aiden Newton from Calgary, Alberta, to pitch for the Bulls. Currently with Northwestern State, Louisiana, playing in 19 games played. He's got 46 strikeouts and 44 innings of work. He'll take on Lucas Marcello, who had a single in his last at-bat, grounds it to the second baseman, and able to make the play was Andrachik. That'll be the first out of the inning for the Bulls, which will bring back Ethan Pittman. It's Newton's 3rd season with the Bulls. A junior at Northwestern State, team that went 35-21 this past season. 2-2 in the Southland Conference tournament. It included wins over McNeese and New Orleans, as well as Southeast Louisiana. A win over McNeese in Southeast Louisiana. They lost to New Orleans both times they played them in the tournament. Newton now with a 1-1 pitch to Ethan Pittman, who made on base, but it was a fielder's choice. He'll ground it to Newton. And Newton does most of the hard work running towards first base before tossing it for Clairhout for the easy out. Darcy Berry steps back up to the plate for Fort McMurray. Pair of singles in this game. We talked about him wanting to find his confidence earlier this week. Takes a ball from the first pitch by Newton. Barry from Australia, also playing with Dakota State University, based out of Madison, South Dakota. Swung on and missed by Barry. South Dakota State going 26-24 this past season, 2-2 in their conference tournaments. Barry, his 2nd year with the Giants, digs in for the 1-1 pitch. Managed to check his swing. That will be ball number 2. Barry up in the count. And this one is slapped. It's high. It's into the outfield. Coming across, though, is Jalen Ryan, who will make the grab. That'll be 3 up, 3 down for Lethbridge. Fort McMurray still leads this game 3-0.
Number 18, Winston Roberts.
Top of the 5th inning, and the Giants will head to the bullpen now as Winston Roberts gets the call on the mound. Riley Burns' night comes to a close. 4 innings pitched, 3 hits on 55 pitches. We'll see what can Winston Roberts do out of the bullpen for Fort McMurray, the Washington product who plays with Walla Walla Community College. They'll go head-to-head against Jalen Ryan. The first ball is into the dirt. Roberts last played on Wednesday against Energy City. 2 innings of work, gave up 5 runs on 4 hits, had a strikeout as well. Looking for a bit of a better outing this evening. His second pitch just finds the outside of the zone for strike number 1. Evens up the count against Jalen Ryan, who is 0 for 1 so far tonight. Struck out in his first at-bat. 1-1 pitch. Ryan gets a piece of it. Bounces over to Roberts. Arms it. Did he get his foot down? Yes, he did. Herkin with the nab. And that is the first out of the 5th for Fort McMurray. They don't get much closer than that. Brings us back to the top of the inning. Bernie Sakaris, who is 0 for 1, reached first base after an error by Miles Murphy. First pitch from Roberts is high for ball 1. Sakaris from Hobbs, New Mexico, plays at Friends University in Kansas. Excellent numbers through 20 games at Friends University. 412 batting average, a 512 on-base percentage. And on a team that went 29-23, 2-1 in their conference tournament, beating Kansas Wesleyan, or losing to Kansas Wesleyan 7-3, before beating Ottawa 11-2 and McPherson College 8-6. 1-2 pitch. Got a piece of it. Sakaris did. The third baseman Marchell is going to arm it over, and it's just in time. The Giants getting a lot of help defensively in this game. Close calls by the Bulls. And that is now 2 outs in this 5th inning. Fort McMurray remains on top, 3-0. Liam Matsuzaki steps up to the plate. 1 for 1 so far tonight. He'll take a ball from his first pitch by Winston Roberts. Roberts in his 4th game of the season. 37 games played with Walla Walla Community College. This one is slapped, and it's going to stay fair. 1 for sure by Matsuzaki. He's going for second, and he'll get there in time. A double by Lee Matsuzaki, and the Bulls with a runner in scoring position. Matsuzaki got a good chunk of that one, and it stayed on the right-hand side of the third base line. Rainey was trying to muscle it into second, but it wasn't in time. And now Carter Clarehout, who's 0 for 2 so far tonight, will step up to bat, trying to give his team a spark in this contest. The West Division leading Lethbridge Bulls down 3-0 in this game, and that's a strike thrown by Roberts. Clarehout doesn't agree with it. Takes an extra second, digs back in. It's one of 7 games being played today in the WCBL. Brooks Bombers up 4-1 on Saskatoon in the bottom of the 4th. Weyburn trails Regina 5-3, top of the fourth. Medicine Hat a 2-0 lead on Okotoks in the top of the fifth. Moose Jaw hammering Swift Current 11-0 in the bottom of the third. Sylvan Lake will take on Energy City this evening. It's doubleheader between Brooks and Saskatoon as their first game was rained out last night. A 1-1 pitch from Roberts spiked into the turf. So they did a good job of ensuring that one did not get by him. And Claire Hout is now up 2-1 in this at-bat. Runner on second, 2 outs. Giants lead it by 3. The pitch from Roberts. Low for ball number 3. Claire Hout now sitting on a 3-1 count. Winston Roberts looking to get out of the 5th inning. The windup. Down low again, and that's going to be ball number 4 for the first walk of the game by Winston Roberts. And one of the more dangerous hitters in the WCBL, even though he's off to a slow start. Jack Kaliski steps up to the plate. 0 for 1 so far in this game. With a guy who has 7 home runs to his name in this league. Will smack this one high to the outfield. Hustling across is Camden Sanders. And he'll easily park himself under that fly ball. That's out number 3. Fort McMurray remains on top, 3-0.
Shout out to one of our awesome Giants fans here tonight. I'd like to give a huge shout out to Costin Hewlin. So Costin, if you're out there, put your hands up. Everybody give Costin a round of applause. Let's hear it. That's what I like to hear. All right, I'm here with Jake. We're going to be playing popcorn sauce, so you know the drill. We've got 3 tries to catch a piece of popcorn in our mouth. The winner keeps the bag. So let's get it going. Ready, Jake? Oh, Allie, close 1, 2. Oh, one more try, come on. Oh, Jake, everybody make some noise, come on. That's no doing here, and our promo team always ready to have fun here at the Giants.
Bottom of the 5th inning, and Newton looking to build off of his first inning of work where he went 3 up, 3 down against the Giants, trying to keep his Bulls in this game. He'll go head-to-head with Elijah Olabel, who's 0 for 2 so far tonight. 1 for 6 in this series against Lethbridge. The first pitch from Newton is smacked by Olabel. Straight up in the air, tracking back, and underneath that foul ball is Sakaris. And that will be a quick out for Lethbridge to start the bottom of the 5th. Miles Murphy will step up to the plate, over 2 so far tonight. Struck out his last at-bat. Still looking for his first hit against Lethbridge in the series. And a pitch from Newton that missed his catcher well to the outside. Ball number 1 to start this at-bat between Newton and Murphy. And the hit bounces to the shortstop. It was bobbled, but able to make the play was Luke Wheatley. Fumbled the ball at first. It almost looked like he was going to drop it, but he maintained control. And a rifle to first baseman Carter Clairhout ensures that Murphy doesn't reach base. Carter Herkin will step up to bat for the Giants. 0-for-1, but he walked his last at bat. Came around and he went. That's going to be a strike against Carter Herkin. The Calgary, Alberta product already behind in the count. Newton making short work of the Giants batters since stepping into this game, looking for another 3-up, 3-down inning. Throws a ball, brings the count to 1-1. A 1-1 pitch, fouled off by Herkin over top of the grandstand. Ontario University Athletics champion with the University of Toronto Varsity Blues. Herkin digs in for the 1-2 pitch. Off speed in there for a strikeout. And it'll be another 3-up, 3-down inning for the Bulls. However, they still trail this game 3-0.
Tomorrow night, St. Group Employee Appreciation Night here at the ballpark. We're tipping our caps to all the amazing St. Group employees. Come early for a tailgate party barbecue starting at 4:30. Then, enjoy a great night of baseball with the Giants. It's our way of saying thanks. Don't miss it.
Almost 2/3 of the way through this game here at Legacy Dodge Field. Fort McMurray leads the contest 3-0. Winston Roberts remains on the mound. He'll go head-to-head against Steven Andrzejczyk. Had a double in his last at-bat. Takes a ball to start this one. Andrzejczyk from Kalispell, Montana. One of the many excellent hitters on this Bulls team. Did he check that? Yes, he did, according to Don Busquis. So that will be ball number 2. Bulls in behind on hits in this game as well, 5-4. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That's in for a strike by Roberts. Midland College, a terrific season for them as this one is slapped into the outfield. gloved down by Rainey for an opening out to this 6th inning. And that will bring up Will Turner to the plate. Finish that thought about Midland College. What a season they had. 46-11, 29-7 in conference play. It was shocking when they went 0-2 in the Region 5 tournament, losing 6-2 and 3-2 to McLean College. But there's a bit of a pipeline between Midland, Texas, and here in Lethbridge. Several players making their way over to play summer ball with the Bulls. It's Will Turner, who's 1 for 2 tonight. A swing and the miss. And it appears that the count is now 1-2 against Will Turner. That's what happens when you look down at your notes. Sometimes you miss a pitch here and there. Fouled off by Turner, stays alive in this at-bat. Nobody on, 1 out. Will Turner, who went 1 for 4 last night, was one of the 3 runs for the Bulls in that game. Trying to get a spark for his team, but he strikes out looking. Roberts found a way to put it on the inside of the plate. And that's the second man retired in this inning for Lethbridge. Drew Bufford will step up to bat. 0 for 2 so far tonight. Go head to head. The first pitch swinging and missing was Bufford. But a little nod of acknowledgement from Bufford. He goes, okay, I see what you're doing, Mr. Roberts. Should be an intriguing battle between Bufford, who hails from Little Elm, Texas, against Roberts from Washington. Roberts up 0-2 in the count, steps off the mound for a second, resets himself. Looking for a second straight strikeout to get the Giants out of the 6th. The 0-2 pitch, smacked down the left field line, but it goes foul. And the count remains 0-2. Fans are making noise here at Legacy Dodge Field. The 0-2 pitch from Winston Roberts. Outside for ball number 1. And Bufford stays alive in this at-bat. This one smacked. It's down the first base line, but coming across is Sanders to make the catch. And it's 3 up, 3 down for the Fort McMurray Giants. They continue to hold on to their 3-0 lead.
All right, Giants fans, I'm here on the swag shop and the bar over here on the main concourse. And I'll tell you what, you want to have the swag shop, there's some amazing deals. We've got everything from t-shirts to jerseys to hoodies, hats, and anything else you can think of. So head on over and grab one. And you know what? While you're walking over here on the concourse, if you want a beer, we've got a bar on the main concourse, and beer just went on sale. Draft beer is 2 for $10, thanks to our Brewski's beer batter. So if you want some beer, there's always a bar. And if you need some new Giant swag, there's the swag shop. And I got one more request. There's lots of people out here, and they look like they want to cheer pretty loud. So let me hear how loud you can cheer for our Fort McMurray Giants!
Aiden Newton's had a terrific outing, and this is his 4th game of the season, but his Lethbridge Bulls still trail Fort McMurray 3-0. Newton's gone farther than his last outing, which only lasted 1 inning against the Brooks Bombers on June the 10th. 1 hit, 1 strikeout. He'll now take on Nick Sauvé, who's 1 for 2 at the plate. First pitch, a ball into the dirt. All the runs have been scored in the 2nd inning by the Giants. And a game that has been fast-paced. Not a whole lot of time from inning to inning. And the Giants, a bit of a swagger in this game that we haven't seen them really play with at all this season. Looking to take down the Goliath in their division. The Giants only 3 wins on the year, sitting in last place. The Bulls sitting in first. And Nick Sauvé now up 3-0 in the count against Aiden Newton. Here comes the pitch from Newton. Over top of the head of his catcher, 4 straight balls. It will be a walk for Nick Sauvé. And that's the 4th time in this game that the Giants have been able to get the leadoff man on base. Camden Sanders will now take his turn. He's 0 for 1 in the game, was walked in his first at-bat, flew out in center field. He'll look to advance Nick Sauvé as he battles with Aiden Newton. First pitch, high. That's another ball against Newton. A couple guys over in the Giants bullpen, but nothing of serious note at this time. It's the 1-0 pitch. Just outside for another ball. And the Giants appear to be content to keep the bat on their shoulder, wanting to force Newton to find the strike zone. Nobody out, 1 on. The 2-0 pitch. Oh, that was inside. It looked good from our vantage point, but it's yet another ball by Aiden Newton, who's now down 3-0 in the count. Again, our broadcast booth is not directly in behind of home plate. It's well off to the side. And this one popped into foul territory. And it'll be just out of the reach of Will Turner. Was hoping that he had an opportunity, but that will end a run of 7 straight balls from Aiden Newton. Sanders waiting to see what he'll be given by Aiden Newton. And that's a high one. Ball 4. It'll be the 2nd straight walk by Aiden Newton. Fort McMurray with runners on 1st and 2nd. Nobody out. A quick mound visit between Newton, his catcher, Bufford, and Claire comes over for a couple words. Now one of the coaches comes out of the dugout for Lethbridge, as they quickly send a pitcher over to their bullpen to start warming up. And that's going to be Tyler Pauly from Fisher, Texas, who hustles to start his warm-up procedure. Newton, who threw his first 2 innings of work, went 3 up, 3 down, has now walked the first 2 batters from Fort McMurray. And we'll see, does this mound visit settle down the Calgary, Alberta boy? He'll take on Connor Rainey, who's 1 for 2 so far tonight. He's made a couple of phenomenal catches in left field. And looking to once again load the bases for the Giants or more. First pitch, high, ball number 1. Rainey was thinking about going for that one. You can see the hands come forward a little bit, but he kept the bat over his shoulder. He gets set for that 1-0 pitch from Aiden Newton. Here's the windup. That one is outside, and now I see what Rainey is thinking of doing, what he did back in the second. He's looking at potentially putting down another bunt. He outran the bunt in the second to load the bases. Can he do it again as Clairhout is starting to pinch in from first? The 2-0 pitch. It's going to be a called strike this time against Rainey, who showed bunt. Here's the other question. We saw Energy City do this against Fort McMurray earlier this week. Do you show bunt, then fake it and pop one over the head of the first baseman into the outfield? This one off of the head of Marcus Erlandser, a wild pitch which will advance the runners. And hopefully the home base umpire, Marcus Erlandsen, is all right. He will be looked at by the Giants trainer. A couple of the players come out with cups of water for Marcus Erlandsen. I do see Jessica Chartrand down in the dugout. It's not her who comes out, it's somebody else. A quick chance for everyone to catch their breath. In a way, this acts as a free timeout for the Bulls as Newton gets an opportunity to reassert himself. Looks like Marcus is all right to keep himself going. A tap from Giants manager Ray Brown. A couple words for his batter, Connor Rainey. After shaking out all the cobwebs, it looks like we will continue here at Legacy Dodge Field. A 3-1 count to Connor Rainey. Runners on second and third. Nobody out. The pitch inside for a strike. That brings us to a full count between Newton and Rainey. Here's the pitch. Smacked by Rainey. It bloops into the outfield. It's going to drop. One will come home in Nick Sauvé, and the Giants will extend their lead to 4-0.
Pitching for the Lethbridge Bulls, number 29, Tyler Pauly.
is Tyler Pauly, who now comes out to pitch for Lethbridge. Tyler Pauly from Fisher, Texas, plays with Our Lady of the Lake University, a graduate student there. 16 games, he has 35 saves to his name, so he is a closer. Loves to collect and sell sports cards. And this season, he's played in 2 different games. Inning of work against Sylvan Lake on June 8th. Their 19-11 victory. No hits, 1 strikeout in the 3 batters he faced. Again, trying to stop the bleeding for Lethbridge, who find themselves down 4-0 against the Giants. And the first man that Pauly will face will be Lucas Marcello. Fort McMurray, they've been playing an excellent game. They've had consistent pitching, which has plagued them throughout the season. They've taken advantage of their situations offensively. And now with runners on the corners, nobody out, looking to continue to pile up the damage on Lethbridge. It's Marcello against Pauly. The first pitch inside for a strike. That fastball at 84 miles per hour. Marcello's 1 for 2 so far tonight. Grounded out to the second baseman, Andrachik. There's a runner trying to steal second. And he's in there in time. Sprinting and making it was Connor Rainey. Now both the runners in scoring position. However, Marcello facing an 0-2 count at the plate. Here's the pitch from Pauly. Fouled off by Marcello into the netting. He'll stay alive with this at-bat. The utility player from Bolton, Ontario, a freshman at Sheridan College. A batting average of .389 with his collegiate team. Looking to keep the momentum rolling for Fort McMurray. Ground ball, bounces to the third baseman, muscles it over, he'll get the out, but coming home is Camden Sanders, and it's now a 5-0 lead rather for the Giants with a runner at third. Well, it will still be an RBI for Marcello, and now Ethan Pittman steps up to bat. Swinging strike at the first offering from Pauly. The building, well, whatever roof there might be on the grandstand would absolutely take off if he can find a way to bring Rainey home. Second pitch outside for ball number 1. That evens up the count against Ethan Pittman playing for his hometown team. Last saw action in 2023 where he had 4 walks and 5 at-bats. Still looking for his first career WCBL hit. He was 0 for 2 last night and picked up another walk. 0 for 2 so far this inning. And Pittman settles in for the 2-1 count. Swings at it, fouls it off of the home plate. And that evens the count at 2-2. Rainey at third base, 1 out. Fort McMurray with a 5-0 lead. The pitch, Pittman into the glove of the shortstop, Wheatley. That was just pure unluckiness by Ethan Pittman. It was a rifle, but beautifully snagged at the shoelaces by Wheatley, an inch lower, and that would have been off the turf. Instead, it's the second out against the Giants. Top of the order, Darcy Berry up to bat. He's 2 for 3 tonight. Takes a strike at the first pitch from Pauly. Rainey remains at third base. He was ready to take off there as he saw the ball flying towards the shortstop. And again, a great play by Wheatley. Good job by Rainey recognizing the situation and getting back quickly. And now Darcy Berry trying to find a way to bring him home. The 1-1 pitch. Inside, but it's for a ball. It's now a 2-1 count. Darcy Berry started his collegiate career with the Northern Iowa Area Community College before transferring to Dakota State. Swung on and missed. Brings the count to 2-2. That's Tyler Pauly trying to get himself in Lethbridge out of this inning. That pitch, low and outside, and it brings us to a full count. 1 on, 2 outs. Giants up 5-0. Berry against Pauly. The pitch, outside, and that will be ball number 4 and a walk. Fort McMurray with runners on the corners. And Elijah Olable will step up to the plate. 0 for 3 so far this evening. He struggled against Lethbridge so far at the plate. 1 for 7 so far in this series. Looking to change that here as Berry's got to dive back on the pickoff attempt by Pauly. He'll get back in time. Keep your eye on Berry, not afraid to steal bases. And he's going. It's a ball. Sliding in is Berry, and they got him. Berry couldn't quite make it. That will end the inning. He will have a couple of words to try to understand how he's out with Connor Watt. But Lethbridge will stem the bleeding, only giving up the 2 runs. Fort McMurray leads it 5-0. We're into the final third of this game at Legacy Dodge Field. Fort McMurray leads the #1 Lethbridge Bulls 5-0. Roberts remains in the game. He'll go up against Luke Wheatley, and it's a strike on his first pitch against Wheatley. Fort McMurray looking for that first elusive win on their home turf. A hit to the third baseman. Marcello takes his time, makes the play, and Wheatley is out at first. As Herkin almost had to pull that one out of the turf. He's had to make a couple of tough catches at first base. But the Giants complimenting their pitchers with some great defensive play. Jalen Ryan will step up to bat 0 for 2 so far tonight after going 4 for 4 last night. There's a little bit of activity from the Giants bullpen. First pitch swinging by Ryan and missing. Looks like it might be Chris Billings warming up for Fort McMurray. Here comes the 0-1 pitch from Roberts. Into the dirt. Skips by Nick Sauvé as well, who looks at his glove going, how did that get by me? I've seen goalies in hockey do the same thing when a shot beats them on the glove hand side. We'll get set for the 1-1 pitch against Ryan. Ryan smacks it towards the shortstop Pittman, grabs it, hucks it, and that's another out at first base. The hometown kid, Ethan Pittman, with the play. And that's now 2 down against the Bulls. He has not looked out of place defensively as Ethan Pittman. You know Fort McMurray loves it when their hometown kids get to play with their teams. This one hit right to Roberts, and he'll toss it over. 3 up, 3 down for Fort McMurray in the 7th. And they remain on top, 5-0.
Alright, we've got all kinds of Giants fans from ages streaming from, who knows, maybe 2. I don't know how old Pulp is, but Pulp decided he's going to come out and dance with us. And we've got all of us, we're going to be hitting the YMCA. So DJ Tom, let me hear a play.
Well, you can tell that the Fort McMurray Giants are feeling it, as it's tradition to do the YMCA during the 7th inning stretch here at Legacy Dodge Field. And I'm pretty sure every single Giant in the dugout was joining in. It's a jovial mood as Fort McMurray looking for their first win at home this season. Elijah Olable will start the bottom of the 7th for the hometown team. 0 for 3 so far in this game against Pauly. First pitch fouled back by Olable. As Tyler Pauly from Fisher, Texas, trying to settle it down for Lethbridge. He did that at the end of the 6th. Settling in is a label for the 1-1 pitch. Hits it over to the shortstop, Wheatley, and he'll chuck it to Clairhout for the out. One down in the bottom of the 7th for Lethbridge, as Miles Murphy steps up to bat. Murphy also 0 for 3 in this game. 0 for 5 is the stat line against Lethbridge in this series. He did make it onto base twice yesterday due to throwing errors. Pops this one straight up into foul territory. Clairhout looking for it. This is near Lethbridge's dugout, and he can't find it. Clairhout just overran that foul ball. Not a whole lot of wind in Fort McMurray right now, unless there was one of those rogue gusts that pushed it to the west. And Murphy still alive. He'll reset for the 0-1 count. And a wild pitch from Pauly that went straight into the backstop. A couple of the fans in the front row flinching in behind the netting. It's hard not to. Even if you're behind a pane of glass and a puck comes at your eyes, it's hard not to flinch. My fiance, who's sitting next to me, is nodding her head in agreement on that one, as she has season seats right at the glass. Another ball fouled back by Miles, and he falls down into the count 1-2. Giants with 6 hits so far in this game, 5 runs. They played an excellent home game against the #1 team in the West Division, the Lethbridge Bulls. And here's another one that's popped up by Murphy. He steps into the catcher. Coming over is Pauly to make the snag, and that will retire Murphy. Two batters up, 2 batters out for Fort McMurray. Carter Herkin will step up. 0 for 2, struck out his last at-bat. Does have a walk to his name and look to make it on base once again. First pitch, fastball, it found the inside of the plate. Elsewhere, Saskatoon leads Brooks 5-2, according to this. That's in the top of the 8th. Top of the 6th, Regina leads Weyburn 9-6. Medicine Hat, a 5-3 lead on Okotoks in the 7th. And in the bottom of the 6th, Moose Jaw Miller Express hammering the Swift Current 57s 11-0. No update from Sylvan Lake in their game against Energy City. And keep in mind, the Bombers and the Berries are playing a doubleheader tonight. The count right now, 1-2 against Carter Herkin. Nobody on, 2 outs. Here's the pitch from Pauly. Fastball up top, but outside of the zone, so it'll be ball number 2. Giants trying to stay patient against the Bulls, trying not to force things. Let the pitches come to him. Did Herkin go around? No, he didn't, according to the veteran Don Buskus. And this will be a full count now between Pauly and Herkin. Billings continues to warm up for the Giants, but he hasn't gone into the mound in the bullpen just yet. Here's Herkin, slaps it out to right field, but tracking it down as Matt Suzuki. And that will retire the side for the Bulls. 3 up, 3 down after 7. Fort McMurray leads it 5-0.
for 6A First Nations economic development. Join Alberta, Construction General Workers Union Local 92, and Alex Diesel Calibrations.
Winston Roberts remains on the mound for Fort McMurray as we get set for the start of the 8th inning. Both bullpens are active right now. Billings now up on the mound, warming up for Fort McMurray. Trying to catch a number of the bull warming up. It's the first pitch smacked right to Roberts. He'll turn, and it's an out right away against Matt Suzuki. Matt Suzuki was 2 for 2 so far in the game before he was thrown out. Carter Clairhout will step up to the bag. He's now 0 for 2 so far this evening. Walked his last at bat. The pitch from Roberts. Swung on and missed by Clairhout. That draws a couple of woohoos from the crowd as they're engaged. A good number this evening. Still waiting for the official attendance tonight. Suspect, though, it's probably well over 1,000 as this one is smacked into foul territory. Marchell trying to get across, but the ball ends up on top of the batting cages. That'll just be a long strike, and the count is now 0 for 2. The 0-2 pitch, slapped on by Clairhout, high into the outfield. A label comes across. He'll make the easy catch. And that's the second man down for Fort McMurray in this 8th inning. And that's just it. The pitching has been great tonight for Fort McMurray, which hasn't happened on a regular basis. And the defense making the simple plays. We haven't seen the errors very often from the Giants. There's only the one that I can think of, and that was the ball that went through the legs of Miles Murphy. Other than that, they have been sharp as tacks. Another strike from Winston Roberts. Here's the 0-1 pitch into the dirt. Jack Kaliski will take the ball to even up the count. In the bullpen for Lethbridge is Logan McNamara. 1-1 pitch, bounced in front of home plate, gets by Sauve. Brings the count to 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch from Winston Roberts. That's slapped, grabbed by Marcello. No, he bobbles it. It gets him behind him. That will be an error against Lucas Marcello, and the inning will go on. Jack Kaliski gets on base for the second time tonight. And Steven Andrechik will step up to bat for the Bulls, trying to give them a spark in this game. And he slaps this high. Olabel's hustling to get it. Calls off Pittman, and Olabel will make the play. That is the third out, and we'll head to the bottom of the eighth. Fort McMurray leads it 5-0.
Rolling there is the golf carts on the go. Noah and the promo crew are on the field. What's happening, buddy?
We're getting ready for the extra special Legacy Dodge Dash. And we've got, looks to be 5 racers out there. We've got a Giants fan versus a mini hot dog, mustard, and ketchup. And I've got an extra special referee, so tell me, what's your name?
Kinsley.
Kinsley, who do you think's going to win? Mini hot dog, ketchup, or mustard?
Hot dog.
Hot dog all the way, all right. Let's see it. I'm going with mustard, I think. Mustard's been doing pretty good today and pretty good in the standings so far. So we're going to get them ready and we're going to count them off. 3, 2, 1, run. Got a good start from Mustard, but Ketchup takes the lead. Hot dog following close behind, but it looks like it's going to be a finish between Ketchup and Mustard. The Giants are cheering him on, and here he goes. Ketchup taking the win. That's a big win for Ketchup. Everyone give him a round of applause, and let's get loud for Giants!
Now pitching for the Lethbridge Bulls, number 34, William McMurray.
A pitching change from the Lethbridge Bulls as we get ready for the start of the bottom of the 8th inning. Logan McNamara comes in for Lethbridge, the Port Moody, BC product. It'll be his 3rd game of the season for the Bulls. Last outing was on June 5th against Energy City in a 6-2 win. Pitched 1 inning, had 2 hits against him, 2 runs, but also had 2 strikeouts. The Bulls don't want to find themselves in any more of the hole. As coming up to bat will be Nick Sauvé. 1 for 2 so far tonight. Walked his last at-bat. Also came home during his last at-bat. And the first pitch he sees is a fastball that just misses outside for a ball. Chris Billions continues to warm up for the Giants. Maybe he'll come in a closer situation. Another ball thrown by McNamara. Brings the count to 2-0. Nick Sauvé been terrific defensively, but we haven't had to see a whole lot of defensive moves from him tonight. Smacks this one, but it goes foul. In fact, tonight we've seen the patience at the plate from Sauvé. Both times he's made it on base. He's rounded all the way to home, so 2 runs to his credit. 2-1 pitch. Smacked foul. And none of the Bulls are going to attempt to chase after this fly ball, which bounces at Bob Campbell Field and rolls down the hill. It's almost like the rolling cheese derby out in England, the way the kids will go after those baseballs on that grass berm. Those are comical if you've ever seen movie or videos from that. 2-2 pitch popped up. Clarehout thought about it, but floats into the stands, and look out. Didn't hit anybody. It went off of a couple of the seats. And a lucky young fan has a souvenir out in Section 2. Count remains 2-2 against Nick Sauvé. McNamara, the windup. Ball into the dirt. Full counts for Nick Sauvé. Trying to be the 5th leadoff hitter to make it on base for the Giants this evening. He'll settle in for the full count pitch. The windup. Swinging and missing is Sauvé. That will be a strikeout for McNamara. And it will bring up Camden Sanders. He's made a couple of excellent defensive plays. 0 for 1 tonight. He's been walked twice. A run in his last at-bat. And looking to get a man on the bases for Fort McMurray in the bottom of the 8th. He'll watch a ball float wide for ball 1. The outfield has shown its range, so showed its speed tonight for Fort McMurray. This one fouled off by Sanders towards his own dugout, almost catching, I believe that was Connor Rainey in the batting circle. No harm, no foul. Everybody looks A-OK below our broadcast location. There's the 1-1 pitch from Logan McNamara. Into the dirt and well wide of his catcher. That brings the count to 2-1. Marcello goes and gathers one of the loose balls as well. He'll follow up Connor Rainey, provided the Giants get that far. 2-1 pitch. Another ball into the dirt. I mean, Sanders is now ahead 3-1 in the count. He can afford to be patient with this next pitch, trying to force McNamara to find the strike zone. Here's the windup. Inside, ball 4, that will be a walk. Sanders will get on base. It's the 3rd time he's been walked in this game tonight. Now Connor Rainey, who is 2 for 3, will step up to bat. Despite the fact that he went 0 for 3 on June 10th against Energy City, he's found his groove tonight. Does take a strike on the first pitch from McNamara. Looking to advance the runner Sanders to second. Still only 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. That one outside for a ball. Billings stands at attention in the bullpen, no longer warming up his arm. He feels like he's sufficiently ready. Expect him to come in a closing situation for the top of the 9th. The 1-1 pitch, though, from McNamara. Swung on and missed by Rainey. He got a piece of it, according to home plate umpire Marcus Erlandson. Foul tip. And Rainey will dig back in. He struck out once already this evening. Wind up. Outside, ball number 2 to even up the count. Rainey trying to work Logan McNamara. A freshman from Three Rivers College. Team that went 25-30 this past season in 10 games, 13 strikeouts, 18 hits, but he strikes out Connor Rainey here for the second out of the 8th. That'll be the second strikeout of the inning for McNamara. And Lucas Marcello will now step up, trying to advance the runners and keep the inning alive for the Giants. 1 for 3 so far tonight. Ball into the dirt for ball number 1. You know the hometown crowd would love to see Ethan Pittman get one more season. Swung on and missed. That evens the count at 1-1. And they've switched up the man in the bullpen now for the Giants. Luke Glenn steps in as Marcello fouls this one into the stands. So they might not actually turn to Chris Billings after all. The 1-2 pitch from McNamara against Marcello. Swung on and missed by Marcello. 3 strikeouts for McNamara in the 8th. And that will lead us into the 9th. Giants leading this game 5-0.
Here's your winning number for your 50-50 tonight for $1,137.50. Your winning number, 185-214-27. That number again, 185-214-27. You just won $1,137.50. Thank you for supporting Fort McMurray Minor Baseball and your Giants.
Fort McMurray looking for their first win at Legacy Dodge Field this season, and they're going to stick with Winston Roberts, and really, why not? He's only faced 10 batters in the last 3 innings. If it wasn't for an error in the 8th, it would have been 3 up, 3 down each of the last 3 innings, trying to bring it home, facing Will Turner. Turner will foul that one off. And the second pitch to Turner fouled on top of the grandstand as well. Luke Glenn continues to warm up in the Giants bullpen on a precautionary basis, hoping that Roberts can close it out. Pitch inside for a ball. It would be the first time all season that the Giants have used 2 pitchers in a game. The 1-2 pitch outside for a ball brings the count to 2-2. Will Turner 1 for 3 this evening, struck out in his last at bat. The 2-2 pitch. Low and just outside of the zone. The count is now full. Ray Brown checking with the bullpen, seeing if Glenn is good to go. Should he be called on? Swung on and missed. No, he got a piece of it, so it is a foul. I wasn't sure if that went into the glove of Sauvé and dropped it, but we continue on. And this one is knocked to Marcello. Grabs it, hucks it. Did he get there? Yes! A great play by Marcello on the money. And Herkin with the stretch holds on. That is out number one. And it's going to be a pinch hitter for the Bulls rather. Dalen Blanchard will step in for Drew Bufford. Blanchard from Magnolia, Arkansas, playing for his hometown university, Southern Arkansas. First pitch he sees, swung on and missed. He's a redshirt freshman. He's only had one at-bat with Southern Arkansas this past season. Takes the ball. That at-bat, he was walked. Called strike against Blanchard, who falls behind 1-2. This will be the 8th game that Blanchard has played this season for the Bulls. 27 at-bats, 9 hits. Does he foul it? No, it's in play. Grabbed by Sauvé. He'll chuck it in time. And that's out number 2 by the Giants. Lethbridge down to their final at-bat. And another hitter comes in, pinch hitter that is. Brennan McTavish. Played last night. Looking to keep the game alive for the Bulls. Takes a strike from the first pitch by Roberts. McTavish, a redshirt freshman with Midland College, swung on and missed, playing with his hometown team. Went 2 for 4 last night, which included a double. Can Fort McMurray find a way to close it out and get their first win at home? The 0-2 pitch. Fans thought it was there. Marcus Erlandson says it was outside, and that's a ball. We continue on. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. And it's the first win of the season at home for the Fort McMurray Giants. They will blank the Lethbridge Bulls 5-0. 5 innings from Winston Roberts. He could very well be the player of the game, as the Giants only used 2 pitchers tonight, and maybe, just maybe, some momentum in this series against the #1 team in the West Division, the Lethbridge Bulls. Game 3 will take place tomorrow at 7:05. We'll have all the action here on FloCollege. I'm Matthew Decker. Thank you for joining us tonight. The Giants win it 5-0.
The Giants are at home tomorrow to take on the Lethbridge Bulls one more time. 7:05 is game time. Inside tickets at the Short Place Box Office or online for McMurrayGiants.ca and be part of the excitement. And now, a huge round of applause for number 18, Winston Roberts. He's the giant of the league who brought the fire, the focus, and the hustle. The giant of the game, Winston Roberts. Join Stone and the Giants on the field for the next 20 minutes. Get your autographs and photos and tag them on social media. #FMM Giants. That's a wrap, Giants fans. Thanks for tuning in. Now drive safe, and we'll see you at the next game.